Yes, happy welcome everyone for World Teacher Day. We are preparing in this for United Nations Days, and we are so happy that Ambassador Ahmed proposed to celebrate this great day, United Nations UNESCO World Teacher Day. So most important, is about education, and I will try to as maximum possible to share this and show why this is so important, and hopefully it will go good. Okay, so this is very important to understand why is important education and all our programs, because they are interconnected in our global peace building network, and also for global peace. Okay, so let me start celebration. I want to introduce shortly myself. I'm working recent 27 years for peace, and do a research of the human life, of all humans' life, including not just science and psychology, but religions and all others, everything what human develop about spirituality, about study human life and God, and how to cooperate, all this from fundamental to everything, to technology. And I wrote everything, all of this in my book, certain books, and I do the greatest this development, that I researched it. I try to fix it in one global peace building network, and because we are living, in this greatest time of the Messiah's coming time, and therefore God bless us with all this technology, everything we have. Like even now we are globally, intercontinentally in few continents, almost in all continents, like here we have here Oceania, Europe, Asia, Africa. So this is most important, that we are now could unite together all humankind, and in this blessed time we could finish ultimate global peace by 2027, because God bless our age. And of course, I like very much your anthem of the Sri Lanka, because there I saw their interfaith, like all religions happily live together there in Sri Lanka, and therefore I like it very much. And there start globally a race for who will build the religious people. They say that this is kingdom. Simple people still say that world of peace. So anyhow, it's the same. Which country will build it first? And you see that is so big race that even some nations allow themselves to make wars. Use this ancient mechanism, because it's a big call. Everyone is in a race and they want to be first in the kingdom. So therefore, this is competition between nations who will be first. But peace could be done only by peace. So also, as we are living in this greatest age that God sent the Messiah and coming, all because the Son and daughter, and they fulfill the marriage of the Lamb, and they start already, they build already heavenly kingdom. The 12th year just remain for all his being people on the earth to inherit heavenly kingdom in their life, in their family, community, country, and the world. So we don't just work, like politicians. We go to work and go home, and we meet like G20. They meet one per few year, or United Nations, they meet one per year, and even there they're fighting, and after that they're also fighting. So some of them in G20 they shake hands, but during the time this summit they are. So we are calling all humanity to join hands together and build substantial peace. And this is most important. This could be done because everything is interconnected. You see that God bless this age, like that everything is technology, everything is, and there is no big difference. Like, in the past, there was king somewhere in the heaven and world population, And this tendency, persists right now. The United Nations try after the World War II to normalize the living, but anyhow, still the effort came to 1% of population that they grab 99% of wealth and power in every country, in your country too, and also globally, and another 99% of the population. But those golden stars, they was blessed just with one reason: to help all 99% to go to heaven. It could not be like billionaires, so somebody is happy, another is just, I saw, because I contact, I'm in the live contact with the Pakistan, Africa, Asia. There is many street children or others, because, even humanity was thinking that, our children will live in peace. And also my parents were thinking, maybe Nick will be in peace, but we have war right now. It will not come automatically. Therefore, we are building it. This is a global movement that uniting organizations and VIPs in a global peace building network. It's just building peace brick by brick. It's supposed to be built it, and it's more powerful, this movement of peace, and it's supposed to be more powerful than life and death, and even more powerful than wars and building peace, because till now nobody was building peace. And therefore we are working with the greatest mechanisms from the Messiah's coming to award peace ambassadors. And we are awarding recently 90 presidents globally from 90 countries, a new country too. So we send also the roadmap for peace 2027, how they could build peace 2027. We award also kings and prime ministers, all of them, this kind of, we empower them to build peace also for organizations. And you are, some of you are new peace ambassadors, and we are so happy to cooperate together. So you see the President's Awards here, and we call them, there is a big development for humanity, even in most difficult country right now, the God sent e-government. So you could write to your president, because I send the message, okay, let's build peace by 2027 to all presidents, but you as a population, you elect them. I wrote to my president, but you write to your president how much money they invest in their peace, and what is the strategy, and therefore we work to cooperate with government. And this is the most important, comparing with all other movement and, other usually the youth, they was making a revolution recently, for example, in Kenya a few months ago, the prime minister tried to raise the taxes to make his salary bigger. And there is a lot of youth, they don't have nothing to eat, no jobs. And our strategy is to connect youth with the government through the education. We work very hard with 3 areas. One is peace education. We have the most biggest research of humanity is called divine principle. Is historical, science, religion, everything. And we are educating global leaders. Second, we educate families, to families to have straightened families, real strong families, because it's most important to understand that for now there is, especially in Africa and Asia, there is up to 70% of the population there are young people. There is youth and children, and there is elderly people. And this is all because their parents die of AIDS. So we could control it just with strong marriage education that we have in our movement. And third is we teach youth, we empower them with entrepreneurship. And this is our 5-year program that we propose to all governments, that they could implement it and happily develop this cooperation between governments with the youth, that youth not make revolution, but they work for prosperity of their countries and continents and globally. So you see here a few projects. We have greatest peace ambassador in India, Dr. Vijay Kumar. He is uniting VIPs and organizations there, thousands of organizations, and they are building quite good. We have Ambassador Ahmed, and a few of you are here, just recently awarded peace ambassadors. And we will have good summit today. I try to be shortly. So we work in all this area with government, with leadership and education for peace, media and stars for peace, business for peace, youth for peace, and interfaith for peace, and charity for peace. Here we are. Shortly is this is presentation. Happy welcome to our global movement as we are living in this God's blessed time with the Messiah coming, and we could do it as Messiah inspire us to build peace by 13 April 2025 is very important time this time, and you see this we have just a recent summit. It was 21st of September, and right there Ambassador Ahmed proposed, let's do one more, and we want to cooperate with the government, and we next one was planned for the 21st October, but we plan it right now for the 5th October, and maybe in the tomorrow, after tomorrow, we will make summits with you more and more and more. Working daily, and as we are doing, every day global prayer chain, where we invite all 8 billion plus people, once everyone uniting and pray at 7 p.m. their local time. So there will be a circle around the globe. So the world will be protected and the peace will come when up to presidents, everybody will join. So happy welcome to this. All of these 7 areas where we're working, you will hear the presentation today, you will rejoice today. So let me start, and I want to invite our MC, Ambassador Alex, please turn on presentation and lead further the summit. I really pray for all of you. May God help us, Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, to do the best. Okay, Alex.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nicole. It was a wonderful speech. And I would like to call upon Mrs. Irina Rutnge for the next speech. And she is a leader for Global Peace Building Network and Women's Federation. And she is a former parliamentarian, which is for Uganda. So we would like to warmly welcome her for the forum.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much, our dear MC. I would like to congratulate our chairperson, Dr. Nikolai, for the wonderful job he's doing with you in Sri Lanka. I want to congratulate all the ambassadors of peace who have joined us today. Thank you so much for your hard work. Yes, I want to also congratulate teachers. Maybe many of us can be put in that teacher's role, because as parents, we are teachers. Whether we are qualified to be teachers or not, we are teachers in our homes, which is the basic place for teaching our youth as they grow. So as parents, we also have to know what we are teaching our children every day. But I really thank the formal teachers, those who have been qualified to teach people, our children, history, geography, all the physical issues of this world. They are really doing a very wonderful job. And I would like to thank God that we have them here on earth to teach, in schools especially. I would also like to encourage the teachers to start teaching our pupils, our students, our university students, issues of moral values. Because in this world, we have seen that science is doing its best to educate us, and religion is also trying its best to show us what God is. But the most important thing in our lives is to have what we have termed as character education that will lead us to moral values, that will instill goodness and empathy in our children as they grow. So our teachers have a very, very big responsibility, because they have been teaching all throughout history, but we still have problems, especially with the youth. Our chairperson just said that the world population now is more than half youth. So we need to make these future leaders know how to live in the future world of peace. And we start now by giving them the holistic ventures, formal subjects, vocational skills, character and moral education. So as we celebrate this day, emphasis at this time should be put towards teaching our youth to achieve peace. The Global Peace Network is targeting the year 2027 that this world should actually have peace. We have a very short time if we have to teach the whole world how to live in peace, live together as one global family. So as we celebrate our teachers today, I would like to really pray and say that this forum, this workshop that we put us together can produce results, good results for our teachers. And I want to say Aboji because Aboji is father. And I want to say Omoni. Omoni is mother. Those are our heavenly parents should come and be with us and guide us in this symposium that we are holding today. I want to thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to say something here. I want to congratulate Sri Lanka. Everything that I saw in your national anthem is amazing and mesmerizing. You are wonderful people. May God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Arena. It was a wonderful speech. And next, I would like to invite Bishop Nelson. Father, you can take over your part in the forum. And I would like to mention that he's the ambassador for Global Peace Building Network and peace ambassador for Global and Australia.
Thank you, dear brother Nick, and our dear MC Alex. Being an ambassador for peace, I just want to say greeting of peace, shalom, salam, assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, shanti, and many other religious and multicultural and different beliefs. Greetings to all of you. I respect every one of you. I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone in the world. My dear Peace family, today we are celebrating Youth and Teacher Day and Peace Day. And regarding education, I just want to share with you. Bible says the fear of the Lord or fear of God is beginning of knowledge. Regarding teacher, Bibles, when we read Bible, Jesus said, "Come to me, take my yoke and learn from me." And regarding peace, he is the Prince of Peace. We belong to peace, and peace is very important in our society, in our community, in our country, in our family, and in our personal life. And we can say, peace start from me, peace start from us, and peace is really very important to survive in the world. And first of all, I pray for peace. I pray for global peace and global healing. I pray for blessing of the word. And I especially request everyone, let us work together because we need peace. And I just want to share three words: peace, respect or honor, and then freedom. And removing of walls. Many people make walls of denominations, religions, but when we make walls, we can't see one another. And when we make very high walls, what will happen? We cannot hear one another. So please remove the walls and then we can work together for global peace. This is very important for peace and youth. Peace makers and peace youth worker really act like a beam and pillar of a building. And this peace building require pillar. This peace building require beams. And without pillar and beams, we can't. A building cannot be exist. So I especially pray for everyone. And shall we pray together? Loving Father, our Creator, we need you. We need your wisdom. We need blessing of this word. I especially pray for bless this word, bless all of us, and bless our global peace network. I pray for every organization who work for peace. I pray for peacemaker because peacemakers are children of the Lord. Bless this peace family. We are especially peace family. Give us wisdom, give us strength, give us power, the power of love, the love unconditional, and then we can work together for peace. Give us opportunity, give us strength so that we can work together. Bless all of us. Bless everyone who are here and everyone who are not here. Bless this word. I pray for especially global peace and healing. We need your wisdom. We need your blessing. Make all of us instrument of your peace. We need peace. We need world peace, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Bless all of us. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Bishop Nelson. Father, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your prayers for the nation. And next, we would like to thank you, Father. Sorry for the interruption. There was a technical issue. Next, we would like to call upon Mr. William Hennes, leader, Global Peace Building Network. Dr. Nicole?
Yes, Ambassador William, we cannot hear you. Something with the
Yes,
sound.
Dr. Nicole, I believe there was a technical issue, and we would like to call upon. Just let us share the slides. Just hold on for a few seconds.
Oh, okay, when after next speaker, please invite Ambassador William.
Is Ambassador William is okay? He will drop off. Okay, next we would like to invite Mrs. Gloria Booth. She's a Gnosis practitioner, International Gnosis Culture and Association. Ma'am.
Oh, hello everyone. Wherever you are in our planet Earth, welcome to this amazing gathering here that has been organized by the CP in Sri Lanka. And we are very grateful that many people on our planet are here with us tonight. And those who couldn't be here, I'm sure that they will receive the message through the media. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And we also thank Professor Richard Ahmed and all his team for the great work that they are doing now all over the planet. One of the speakers was mentioning that we are very blessed because of the technology that we are having to be able to focus all these teachings. And because of this, today is a very precious day, very important day, very blessed day for all the people who dedicate their life to educate other people who are going to help those who need the knowledge to help people come out from their own problems, especially at this time of the history of our planet, where we see many events that are happening, perhaps because many people don't have the opportunity to receive what we already are receiving. So if each one of us who is here is able to say, I can share my experience about education. One of the speakers was saying that the education comes from home, and that's really true. Even come before the baby is born, we know it all depends on how the mother is. And then from childhood, youth, adults, and we are being educated all the time. So education is a word that we should take it to our heart, because for us to be able to educate, we need to come first to ourselves and see if what we are saying is related to our own experiences. And we would like to help people who are being formed to receive the knowledge and take it to the heart and find the answer of what they are learning. No, everything that we are receiving is going to be only live in the intellect. because that doesn't help. We really need to bring it to our heart. And in this way, we'll be able to give it the teaching or help to educate people with freedom. And also, they will see our own example in our homes, in the places where we work, in the schools where we teach, because children, young people, and we adults also learn by the example. Because if the teacher is not in the present moment when we are teaching, we are not able to give it the true wisdom that a knowledge have to pass to the students. So that's very important that we ourselves need to be in the present moment, as one of the speakers was saying, in the present of God, in the present of that inner power that we had within ourselves, because this inner power is the source of life that we have. And it's amazing. We can transform ourselves and we can transform the people we are trying to help with the work that is already been done with the um, psychology and counseling, especially at this time um, on our planet where there is so much suffering. And if you will come to a person who needs our help, they only will see that they are receiving this help with the presence of the person. So we need to be focused and be sure that whatever we said, we already have been practicing and we have experiencing. So it's very important that we are together learning from each other, because we may think, oh, I am a teacher, I am instructor, or this and that. Really? When we go to stand in front of the students, what they can see, do they sense that what we are saying is true? Do they get this amazement that says, oh, it has touched my heart. I want to do that. I want to do what this teacher is telling me, but I need to prove it. It's not because we said, yes, I can do it, but the other person needs to prove it. And Master Jesus and many of the enlightened beings or the masters who has come to this planet to give us the message of freedom, which was Master Jesus, Buddha, Hermes Trismegistus, Krishna, all these great masters that if you will continue namely, there are so many. They said, we give you the path, but you have to follow your path on your own. So they have given us the teaching and we need to practice within ourselves. And that's what we need to do with the students, giving them the knowledge, and then they need to practice. And they said, yes, this works for me. I want to do it with freedom because I would like to help other people. So thank you very much for this opportunity to be here tonight. And I wish you all the blessings, all the peace, the harmony that we need to live happy in our own homes, in our own village, in our own country, in our own continent, starting from Asia and you in Sri Lanka, and also all over the planet. Because the people who are suffering at this moment, they have this right to be in peace, with harmony, with joy, and to have all the resources that they need to live in dignity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Gloria Booth. Thank you, ma'am. And next, I'm honored to invite Professor Dr. Irshad Ahmad, Chairman and Founder of Chamber of Psychology and Counseling. And in the slide, you all can see it was our board members. And Dr. Irshad Ahmad is having a technical difficulty, and he will be joining. But while he's joining, let me take you through his profile. So he's the professor for 15 plus universities in Asia, Europe, and all over the world, and president of Ceylon Counselors Council, and president for Ceylon Psychological Association. And Professor Dr. Irshad Ahmad is CEO and founder of Irshad Holding Group of Companies, and he's a director for education for Sri Lanka International Teachers Association, and he's a diplomat for United Nations for Youth. And Professor Dr. Irshad Ahmad is also Hall of Fame Global Forum for Teachers Educators, and he's a Global Peace Ambassador and the country head for Global Peace Building Network. And Professor Dr. Irshad Ahmad would be chairman for Irshad's Foundation. He's also a criminal investigation agent, the one and only special CIA agent for Sri Lanka, and he's a country head for certain organizations, and he does have 200 plus membership all over the world in top organizations and associations. And I would like to add, meanwhile, he holds a world record for the highest number of professional and academic qualification in the world. Asia's most promising psychologist award has been received in 2023, and the American awards selected as an International Talented Personality Awards for 2022. So while Professor Dr. Irshad Ahmad is joining, I would like to take you through a few more things, and he's also the international leader and Achievers Award selected as the Outstanding Youth Icon for the year 2021, and World Prestigious Global Excellence on Teachers Award for 2021. And he has also written and published 23 research books, and he has a Guinness World Record attempt to complete 1,000 courses by end of 2024. And meanwhile, since Dr. Professor Ahmed is trying to log in to the system, I would like to inform he has 5 doctorates, special in counseling psychology USA, and doctorate in social work, doctorate in humanity, doctorate in theology, and he does has the doctorate for peace and humanity India. So Dr. Ahmed, are you with us? All right, so I just received the message. He's having a technical difficulty, so we will move forward with the program. I would like to have the next slide, please. Right, so the next
Alex, sorry. We pass the Ambassador William. Can we try to reconnect him? Yeah, we can hear you, William.
Sure, Dr. Nicholas.
Yeah, let him speak.
Mr. Williams, are you with us?
Okay, please speak, William. Seems like difficulty with the internet. Okay, let's go forward.
Sure, Dr. Nicole. So till Mr. Williams get back to the forum, as well, Professor Dr. Irshad, we will keep moving forward since we have a limited time. So I would like to go ahead with the next slide, please. Before that,
Tura, si te so sangka, dama la panasina.
Mr. Williams, so are you back with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Sure, we can hear you. There was a technical difficulty and there was a technical issue. So we warmly welcome you back to the forum. And I would invite you to the forum to give us your speech. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Williams Haynes, Leader Global Peace Building Network.
Hello, everyone. So happy to hear two of the earlier speakers, one from Japan, one from Uganda, which is where I was born, and then the next one was from Australia, where my grandmother was born. So Nikolai asked me to talk about government and citizens' cooperation towards world peace. Well, of course, you have to start off with the citizens. All citizens are individuals. But if an individual tries to just work by themselves and do everything by themselves, it just doesn't work. And so it's only natural that people should be attracted to each other, to another person. And that's why men and women are attracted to each other and they get married. And then when they will start working together as a couple, they can actually accomplish much more instead of just working by themselves. As a couple, of course, through the love that they have for each other, they have children. And so the next level then is a family. And when people have children, those children also start to get involved in all the things that are necessary for the family. It may be farming or work or whatever it is, running the household. And so it becomes much easier for them to create all sorts of things and to live in a much more prosperous life. And then from a family, then people get married to members of other families, and you get a sense of community developing, and eventually a sense of a tribe. But often you find that not everyone likes to work and support each other in such a loving and cooperative way. Sometimes you find that some people are quite selfish, and instead of wanting to share what they have, they want to steal and take what other people have. And then that becomes a real problem. And especially when it gets to the tribal level, there may be two tribes, they occupy different pieces of land. But then sometimes you get one tribe wants to conquer the other tribe and take over the land and take over the people, maybe putting them to death, or maybe making them into slaves and selling them. And so this then becomes a huge problem as communities and societies grow. And there's a lot of fighting, and people get other tribes and sometimes nations get invaded by neighboring ones that want to steal their property and steal the land. So the question is always how to solve it. No individual can do this by themselves, so you find that within every society, within a family, a community, a tribe, a nation, someone will come along who will be regarded with a lot of respect because they're a warrior, and they're very, very brave and very courageous, and they're willing to lead the defense of that community or that tribe against others and defend the country. If all that person wants to do is to defend the people, then that's fine. It becomes a problem when that person or that warrior wants to conquer other people. And then when they get power, sometimes this power that they have is used in a very selfish way, and they want to conquer other people, take their land, and oppress them. And so the question is then, what is it to be a good king or a good person? And the model for this in the Judeo-Christian Muslim world was always someone called King David. He was a great warrior, but at the same time he was told by God that he should spend a huge amount of time studying the Torah or studying the Bible. And so he spent a lot of time studying the Bible where it said what a king, the responsibility and duties of a king should be. And it's not just to defend the country, but it's also uphold justice. That means that first of all, the king or the ruler shouldn't be thinking, well, I'm going to rule these people for my sake, but rather I'm here to serve these people for their sake. I'm here to help to establish justice, which means that make sure criminals are punished, but that I myself must not become a criminal myself. And the next question is, well, what happens when this leader dies or a warrior dies? Sometimes there's a competition, maybe within a family or between other people for who's going to become the next leader. And sometimes that in itself can lead to civil wars. And so in the idea of monarchy, then what was decided, okay, we're going to have this person's going to be the king or queen, and then the next person's going to be one of their children, and hopefully we'll choose a good one. And then there's no competition or no fighting about who becomes the next ruler. As long as that ruler himself or herself needs to recognize that their power has to be limited within the law. Just because they're the king or the ruler doesn't mean they have the authority or the right to do whatever they want or take whatever they want. They have to absolutely operate within the law. The question is then, well, who makes the laws? Well, one way is the people make laws. These are customs. And the king is supposed to uphold these customs and protect the people, because these customs then become laws. Also, you might have councils or a parliament that decides, okay, this is going to be the law, and this law applies to everybody, including the king or the queen or whoever it is. So you end up having a government. So the purpose of government then is twofold. One is to defend the country, and so that's why governments should invest a lot in the military, not to invade and attack other countries, but to defend themselves. And so if the neighbors can see, oh, they're very well armed, we won't attack them because we know we won't win. So the main purpose of a military is for defense. And the other purpose is to uphold the law, so to appoint, make sure there's independent judiciary to uphold the law. But in order to do a lot of these things, it requires taxation. And then it becomes a problem. Sometimes people in government think, well, okay, we're going to use this taxation so we can control other people and we can spend other people's money. That's a real problem. And so some countries then, the state becomes incredibly powerful. Some countries the state remains very, very small, because its job is just for defense and to uphold justice, not to go around taxing people and spending that money. So those are the two main purposes: protect the country from invasion, which will break the peace and damage people's way of life, prevent them from being happy, and justice, to maintain the laws necessary to create a realm of freedom so people can live a peaceful, moral and meaningful life and thus be happier and fulfilled. They don't have the government or the ruler telling people what it is that they should do, but creating a realm of law which gives them the freedom to pursue their own ideals. And another role, as I said, is to maintain an independent judiciary. But also a few more things beyond that. One is to maintain roads and sewers. Roads are very necessary for transport, communication. Sewers are very necessary for health. And protect people's way of life. So peace. So we're talking now about peace. So peace is not desired on the world level alone. Often we talk about the desire for global or world peace, but also on the level of the nation, societies and families as well. Every individual yearns for peace between their mind and body. And of these various levels of peace, which level should be established first? It's easy to think that if world peace were established first, then on that basis the peace of nations, societies, families, and eventually individuals would also be established. But this is a wrong way of looking at things. It's actually the reverse of the sequence necessary to establish peace. Individual peace must first be realized. That is, peace between our mind and body. So we're not dominated by our physical desires. We don't lose our temper and go and hit somebody, but we have an inner peace between our mind and body, which is what all religions focus upon, teaching people to find this inner peace and harmony within themselves. And after that, you can get family peace, because then you don't get husbands and wives fighting with each other or fighting with their children, and often turning to abuse and violence. And only on the foundation of family peace can the peace of societies, nations, the world be expected. So if families are peaceful within themselves and harmonious, then they're going to get on well with their neighbors, and they're going to get on well within their community. So that's also very, very important, family peace. And that also, of course, obviously means that children should be brought up well to have these kind of values, to be able to appreciate and respect their neighbors and members of their community, and to be involved in serving them, not exploiting them. So frequently, though, leaders believe that through outstanding organization, superior thought, they can restore both the order of society and world peace. The reality, however, the peace of mankind can never be realized through these means alone. International organizations such as the United Nations and thought systems such as communism, democracy, etc., have all tried to realize world peace in their own ways. The peace is still far from our grasp, and the world is experiencing more confusion as days go by. Unless the quest for peace starts from the peace of the individual, it is bound to fall again and again. World peace begins with the individual peace, expands through families, societies, nations, ultimately to become world peace. And so a lot of this then is involved in education. As a lady from Uganda said, education starts off within the family. So what is education? It's the transaction between the generations when children are initiated into the world in which they're to inhabit. So they understand and can make sense of the world in which they're to inhabit, in which they're to live in. So it's not just about the transfer of knowledge and skills, it's most fundamentally learning to perform humanly, to become a good human being. And so, as I said, as the lady said, this starts off in the family. You learn how to behave, learn to live a spiritual life. You learn how to think, not what to think or believe. Learn certain skills like gardening or maintenance of a house, or how to manage money, etc. But parents aren't able to teach their children everything. And that's why children go to school. They can learn there and study about history, literature, language, religion, and also specialized knowledge and skills and more complex ways of thinking. So, who started these schools? Well, in Britain and many countries, these schools were originally started by religious bodies. In Britain, Church of England started all of the first schools. You might think, well, why was that? Because all the parents who went to church on a Sunday, they all wanted to be able to read the Bible. And they also wanted their children to be able to read the Bible. They thought, well, we can't teach our children how to be able to read the Bible ourselves because we're uneducated. Whereas the priest is educated and can read. So the priest then would start a Sunday school where it teaches the children how to read. The purpose is not to read the Bible to become a good Christian, a better human being. And we find the same not just within Christianity, but in other religions as well. This recognition that education has to be connected also to spiritual and moral values. And so this is very, very important then, about education. They have to pass on the wisdom of the ages. And unfortunately, in many schools today, they've become very, very secular, and the focus is entirely upon knowledge and skills. But actually what's more important is passing on the wisdom, so people become true human beings. Not indoctrinating people to believe this, that, and the other, which again is quite common these days, but teach children how to think, how to come to their own conclusions about things, and not just having information without values or purpose or meaning. And so in that sense, then all schools should be independent, self-governing, and not actually controlled by the state. Local communities should set up schools. The problem is often when you have state education, it also leads to indoctrination. Best way then is schools should be independent, self-governing, probably connected to some religious body, financed by fees, scholarships, and vouchers, and also free to specialize and set a curricula, and not for indoctrination, whether it's religious or political indoctrination, but to follow public exams set by universities and other professional bodies. And so that's why education then is so important. And we can see that in societies and countries where there's a good educational system, it leads to prosperity and economic development and hopefully peace as well. So I'll stop there. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for inviting me to come along and listen to you all and to be able to share something myself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Williams. It was a wonderful speech, and there was valuable insights that we could learn from it. So next, we would like to call upon Mrs. Shiaza Tariq, Global Peace Ambassador and Secretary for Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Alex. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending this event. I, Fatima Shiaza Tariq, Global Peace Ambassador, Secretary for Sri Lanka. Education is central to development and to the improvement of the lives of young people globally, and as such has been identified as a priority area in internationally agreed development goals, including the Millennium Development Goals and the World Programme of Action for Youth. Education is important in eradicating poverty and hunger and in promoting sustained, inclusive and equitable economic growth and sustainable development. Increased efforts towards education, accessibility, quality, and affordability are central to global development efforts. There is a need to align education policies, curricula, and training programs in a people-centric way with national development priorities and needs, international development strategies, and labor market requirements. Doing so will promote the situation of young people, fight extreme poverty, and allow for a maximization of the benefits of globalization for youth. Knowledge and education are key factors to full and effective participation of youth in the process of social, economic, and political development. Increased attention to improving participation rates of young people is needed to ensure that they acquire the knowledge, capacities, skills, and ethical values needed to fulfill their role as agents of development, good governance, social inclusion, tolerance, and peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Shiaza Tariq. And next speaker would be Mrs. Nisansala Gunaratna. Please take over the stage. And she's the Global Ambassador and Treasurer for Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Mr. Alex. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I, Nisansala Gunaratna, Global Peace Ambassador Treasurer for Sri Lanka. Today is a very special day for us as a Sri Lankan because it makes the beginning of a new administration with high expectation. Following 13 years of a gap caused by war and unstable economy. Having the chance to talk about the importance of youth education is a great joy and honor. Education is a blend of sources and influences from the society and cultural effects. It's not just something we learn from books. As descendants of a great people with a rich history spanning through millennia, we in Sri Lanka strive to establish and improve by advanced technologies and cultural values. Thank you. Ayubowan.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Nisansala Gunaratna. It was a wonderful speech. The next speaker would be Mrs. Muflia. She'll be presenting what is youth education. What is youth education? Ms. Muflia.
Thank you, Aloy. And a very good evening to all the leaders and all the Global Peace Ambassadors here with us in the Global Online Summit on Youth Education. And I'm your Peace Ambassador, Mufliha Mukhtar, and I'm representing Sri Lanka. And I'm here to talk on the topic, what is youth education? So education is exceedingly instrumental for the realization of one's innate self, strength, natural fitness, and factual being. Education is so necessary and essential that its insufficiency or absence may lead one to choose improper path of life. Education for the youth is the medium with the help of which they can quench their thirst for realizing their potentialities. Since education, as conceived of, seeks to change the way one lives and thinks, the youth first must be provided great educational opportunities and suitable conditions. The hurdles laying on their way to educational ends out to be removed. Only then will the youth be a boon to the community. Education to youth is as important as soul to body. It is with the help of education that the youth can choose and seek their interests. The self development of the youth is directly tied with that of the society. To help others change their parts of lives, one must first start from himself. So, beginning with the self awareness, the youth should go up flourishing and prospering. So, it is incumbent upon every society to create constructive conditions for the youth so as to receive education. Thank you, everyone. Back to Aloy.
Thank you, Mrs. Mufliya. It was a wonderful speech, and
Thank you.
I would like to invite Mrs. Inaya for the next speech.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Inaya Mazahir, Peace Ambassador, representing Sri Lanka. Today, I would like to emphasize the importance of youth education. Education is the cornerstone of personal development. It equips young people with essential skills such as critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. An educated youth is empowered to make informed decisions and engage meaningfully in their communities. Youth education also plays a vital role in promoting social stability. It breaks
Mrs. Inaya, you're on mute.
Mr. Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Inaya Mazahir, Peace Ambassador representing Sri Lanka. Today, I would like to emphasize the importance of youth education. Education is the cornerstone of personal development. It equips young people with essential skills such as critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. An educated youth is empowered to make informed decisions and engage meaningfully in their communities. Youth education also plays a vital role in promoting social stability. It breaks the cycle of poverty and reduces inequalities, allowing individuals from diverse backgrounds to thrive. An educated youth is more likely to participate in activities contributing to a healthier democracy and a more engaged society. Additionally, youth education is linked to better health outcomes. Educated individuals are more informed about their health, and it leads to healthier communities. Finally, investing in youth education is an investment in our collective future. By prioritizing education, we ensure that every youth has the opportunity to succeed and contribute positively to the society. Let us work together to create an environment where youth education is accessible and valued for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Inaya. And next speaker would be Mrs. Mahira. Mrs. Mahira, the stage is all yours. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's a technical issue going on. So what we will keep moving forward. So the next speaker would be Mrs. Nilanti. Mrs. Nilanti.
Good evening, everyone. I am CPC Nilanthi, Peace Ambassador, representing Sri Lanka. Global youth education is very important area. I'm here
Ms.
to...
Nilanthi, sorry to interrupt. There's a technical issue going on. I believe that one of our technical team will help you out to fix it out. We will move with the next speaker.
Okay.
And the next speaker would be Mr. Akhil. Mr. Akhil, this is about cultural barriers in youth education. Mr. Akhil.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Akhil Rilwan.
Mrs. Nilanthi, unmute කරගන්න screen එකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. අපේ කෙනෙක් කතා කරාවේ.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Akhil Rilwan, Peace Ambassador representing Sri Lanka. I'm here to talk about cultural barriers in youth education. As you guys know, Asia, known for its rich cultural diversity, faces unique challenges in education. In many Asian countries, including Sri Lanka, multiculturalism is a strength, but it can also present several barriers. These cultural differences often result in unequal access to education, language barriers, and traditional beliefs that restrict opportunities for certain groups, especially girls are affected. In many communities, girls are not given equal chances when it comes to education. Traditional beliefs sometimes dictate that a girl's primary role is at home, leading to early marriages and the expectation that they should abandon their education. This not only robs young women of their potential, but also limits the progress of entire societies. The divides along religious and ethnic groups can lead to unequal access to educational resources, with some communities being marginalized. This lack of inclusivity not only deepens social divides, but also hinders the education experience for many youth. To overcome these challenges, we must promote inclusive policies that respect and embrace cultural diversity while ensuring that education remains accessible to all, regardless of gender, ethnicity, or language. In conclusion, addressing cultural barriers in youth education is not just about reforming systems, it's about changing mindsets and fostering environments where diversity is celebrated. Only then we can ensure that every young person, regardless of their cultural background or gender, has an equal opportunity to succeed. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Akhil. It was a wonderful speech. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Zeenat Maha. Ms. Zeenat Maha.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Akhil. Good evening to all. I, Peace Ambassador Zeenat Maha, a representative of Sri Lanka, here to talk about economic struggles for youth education. A regional factors declaration in Sri Lanka are partially due to variations in productive earning opportunities. In 2012 and 2013, more than 85% of Sri Lanka's poor lived and worked in the rural sector of the economy. Among the bottom 40%, the main cause of Sri Lanka's poverty is educational quality. Schools in rural areas or in areas that were previously affected by conflict have difficulty attracting qualified teachers to educate their children. With hundreds of schools in the north and east region of Sri Lanka still needing repair from the 30-year civil war, children are not provided the necessary facilities to obtain a quality education. Education expenditure in 2014 only accounted for 1.9% of the country's GDP and was around 7.3% of the government's budget that year. Sri Lanka has one of the lowest tax to GDP rates internationally, which undercuts the government's ability to invest in education. The countries lack the proper public investments necessary to prove the educational facilities of the country. Without proper educational facilities of the youth of Sri Lanka, the children will lack the necessary skills for economic progression. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Zinat Maha. And the next speech would be Mrs. Nilante. Mrs. Nilante.
Good evening. I am Nilanti. I am CPC Nilanti, Peace Ambassador for Sri Lanka. I am here to speak about the global youth education. It is a very important area which should be addressed strategically in Sri Lankan context. I can give below the major issues relating to the youth education. Economic. Although education is a field where many people are interested in, the economic barriers of the people prevent them from getting the education they wish to have. Social factors. The unrest among children and especially youngsters caused in the south and the civil war on the north. I do believe that it is because inequality in the education. Education has failed to fulfill the aspiration of the youth. Education as a way of peace building, we have not yet deeply and seriously understood the pluralistic nature of our society. Education systems should be aimed at building of inter-ethnic reconciliation. Lack of comprehensive understanding of the role of education. Skill-oriented education is considered as suitable for those who cannot achieve good result at the examination. Legal factors. Inequality in the legal system can also be considered a major issues. Consideration. If youth education in Sri Lanka expects to achieve productive result above factors should be seriously taken into consideration and proper remedies should be applied. I am so happy to participate this event in behalf of Sri Lanka as a member of CPC. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Nilante. And next, I would call upon Ms. Kozala. Ms. Kozala.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Kosala Dhananjani, Peace Ambassador representing Sri Lanka. Today, I want to talk about how we can fix problems in youth education. One big issue is that not all younger people get the same chance to learn. We need to make sure that every child can use online learning tool, no matter where they live. Governments and private companies should work together to give better internet access to those who need it. Another problem is that what we teach in school often outdated. We need to teach more skills like using technology, thinking critically, and being creative. This will help the students get job in the future. We also need to think about mental health schools. Mental health schools should have programs that help students feel strong and deal with stress better. Finally, schools should work with businesses and communities to give students mentors and real life experience. This will guide them toward their future goal. In short, we need to use technology, improve what we teach, and give strong support our youth to solve these problems. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kozala. So next we would like to invite Mr. Ishfaq.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Ishfaq, Peace Ambassador from Sri Lanka. Today, I want to highlight the impact of drug and addiction on youth education. Drug abuse can lead to poor academic performance and often dropping out of school. It still there are potential and undermine their future. Many youth turn to drugs because of stress, pressure, or mental health challenges. The solution lies in prevention, education, and support. School must offer guidance, foster emotional resilience, create safe from the danger of addiction. Importantly, those battling addiction deserve our help, not judgment. With proper support and young people can gain control of their lives. Let's be together to safeguard the future of our young by ensuring they choose education over addiction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ishfaq, for your speech. Next, we will call upon next ambassador, Miss Ifra. Miss Ifra.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Alex. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and young advocates. I'm Hifra, a peace ambassador representing Sri Lanka. I want to begin by thanking you for this incredible opportunity to speak at this global online summit on youth education. It's a privilege to stand before you as a peace ambassador advocating for the transformative power of education. Today, we gather to address a pressing issue that affects the very foundation of youth education, harassment, both verbal and nonverbal. In classrooms and online spaces, the impact of such behavior can be devastating, stifling creativity, eroding self esteem, and hindering academic success. To create safe and inclusive environments, we must prioritize comprehensive education and awareness programs. These initiatives should empower students to recognize harassment and equip them with tools to respond effectively. Teaching empathy and communication skills can help foster a culture of respect and understanding. Additionally, we need reporting mechanisms that protect victims and ensure accountability. Schools and institutions must commit to transparent processes that not only address incidents but also support affected. Finally, engaging parents and communities in these discussions is crucial. Workshops and resources can bridge the gap between home and school, creating a united front against harassment. Let's transform our educational spaces into a safe havens where every young person can thrive, free from the fear of harassment. Together, we can build a brighter future where peace and understanding reign. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ifra. The next speech would be Ms. Ramiza. Ms. Ramiza.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Ramesh Khan, Peace Ambassador representing Sri Lanka.